Welcome back to another day of streaming live the game development of Dream Machine. I am Joshua Blair, the CEO and founder of Icebreaker Games, and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to continue where we left off yesterday. We're going to work some more on our menu scene and try to get some of that UI elements looking pretty good. The way we left it off yesterday, it was still a little interesting. But we're making progress and we're moving right along. And like always, we're going to stream pretty much every single step of the way with this project from start to finish. And even though it might be painful, even though it might take a little while, but we're going to show you guys how to do every little step using Unity 3D, using AI, doing all the scripting, you name it, we're going to show it. So jumping right in, I already have the Unity project opened up, and you can see the scene that we have going on here, which is the menu, is a little bit different than we left off yesterday, just slightly different. There was some lighting issue, so I went ahead and baked the lighting for the scene. I usually don't do that, at least on camera, because baking can sometimes take 30 minutes plus, and I didn't want to sit here and waste your time. So I baked off scene, but that didn't really give me the look that I wanted. So I went ahead and made also some changes to the environment here. Instead of using the environmental lighting and use the skybox, because we're underground and we're in a bunker, I want it to be a little bit dark. So instead I changed it to color, and then right now we changed it to just pitch black. And you can see that has severely darkened our scene a little bit, but I think I like it this. Now we are still not getting some of the lighting that we went in yesterday and fixed. But one second. But we're gonna definitely fix that at some point here. We're gonna get to that. I do like how dark it's looking. I think it's gonna be easier to work with in that regard. We are losing some details with the darkness, but I think overall, if you look at our camera view, minus the title itself, I think this looks pretty decent. Our button's still gonna flash here like yesterday, and we're gonna get a little bit of glow in some of these areas, but I think we might amp up some of those intensities just to kind of get maybe a little bit more of an effect here. And so that's what I'm going to dive into, and then we're also going to mess with this canvas a little bit more and try to get this the way that we're going to want. So for those of you who haven't been following the project, definitely head over to the website here, icebreakergames.com/dreammachine. There's a nice description of everything on the project, including some nice concept art, mostly created through Midjourney. So if you guys are interested, definitely take a look there. Definitely read some of these notes, and by all means, feel free to join our Discord channel, which is linked in the chat. And if you provide any feedback, have any questions or whatever, I will definitely get back to you as soon as possible. So jumping right back into our Unity scene here, I'm going to start off by taking a look at these lights over here. Now if you remember, we did create these dynamic folders with most of our lights to that area. This is going to make it a little bit easier to go in and find these lights and make it. You can see this one, our intensities were really low, and that's the way it looked better that way in the view at first. But now now that we've darkened this scene a little bit, I'm wondering if we need. I want to say it was lights 4, 3. 4, 3, and let's see what happens if we increase the intensity. Man, we got to go up to almost 0.6 before we really start noticing. And I'm not sure like this. So instead of going with 3 separate lights like we did yesterday, I might try to go with just one. We were kind of using them to light up the button. And again, this isn't necessarily the right way. We want to light up those buttons. We're going to have to create those boxes very simple. If we do something like this, and maybe we can increase the intensity to. We do like a 0.4. Might also be able to increase the range a little bit. I'm gonna turn off this canvas for now. You can see already, I think that looks a lot better than what we originally had. Go ahead and delete these extra lights. Now, I like this. It even illuminates the buttons, and it looks like it illuminates all of them. So I'm gonna go with that. But I do want to still adjust some of the other lights. Another one was this green one. It's barely making it a dent here. Barely even noticeable. I'm going to increase it up and possibly move it out a little bit. Increase the range. You see they're kind of battling to see who takes over the. You can see with this we now get a little bit of the green light down here and a little bit of that bluish teal color up there. So that's already looking better. Take a look at those numbers again. Right down, just might have to go up. Pretty good. Just kind of a weird color. But I think that's already looking much better. If we go back into the bake lighting, we go to generate lighting. Actually pretty quick right now because I've already done it, 1, and 2 because this scene is fairly small. You can see we pretty much lack lighting everywhere else, which is fine because it's really just illuminating this area. I also wanted to just experiment with a little bit, making this ambient color just a little bit more grayish. See what that looks like. Not so far above. Something like that. Pull this off to the side and maybe we can slide. You can see we adjust this. Definitely works. Something like that. We may go back darker because I have an idea for the actual menu. And with a lot of menus, if we look at other examples, I do this a lot and I recommend doing this as well. If you just do like a video game search and you look at some of these menus, it gives you a lot of examples and a lot of concepts that you can not necessarily copy, but use in your video games. One of the ones I really like are kind of like this one here. You can see there's a darkness and it blends into the image itself. We could easily do something like that in this particular scene, since our scene's already very dark. Same concept down here. Most of these scenes are fairly dark. Okay. Whenever you do get a lighter scene like this one, then you're gonna want these full buttons. And I'm not necessarily a huge fan. I kind of like just having the text itself be a button in general. We could have went with something like this. That's kind of what I was originally thinking for the scene. But I don't want to cover our nice cool center with these kind of buttons. So I think I'm going to move the title and everything more off to the side like this. So let's see. I did want to adjust some of the lights again. I want to say this light here. I want to give this some more intensity here. Definitely don't want to have to go up that high. Maybe if we give it a little bit more range, maybe a little bit more note. I really like how it still stays generally isolated to this area, doesn't put too much into this side. We go back to our game view here. I think that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this red. This one's a little bit more difficult just because, I mean, they're going to be almost right on top of each other. Yeah, it's gonna. I don't want to pick either or. And maybe when it's turned on, or maybe it does kind of bleed into the lighting, the other lighting. I'm not sure we had the light in the script turning off and on. Something we should. If we go into our managers, you can see. Oh. And blinking. Wonder if we lost our progress on. Yeah, we don't have the blinking manager. Huh. What happened there? We'll go ahead and create it. Maybe we did that. No, we did. We made it the. Yeah, we made it in the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. Drag this. To our other scene. We are gonna still have to. We're gonna have to set up our references. Notice I talked about this yesterday. And mark these blue because of the references. You can see right away we need to reassign them. So marking it blue kind of helps remind me. This is an outside reference. It's not referenced inside. It's not being stored inside the actual Icebreaker script. So we're gonna have to go ahead and a couple things that we wanted to do was the actual cube itself. Alright, we had a cylinder. This cylinder, that was one of the references. Not sure if we're gonna need this cylinder no more. We're kind of using it to fake the funk, so to speak. We kind of wanted it to just highlight the light a little bit more, capture the light and effect. Now that we've had to amp up the intensity on that light, we may not. And then we also wanted it to turn off and off. We go ahead and push play here. We're gonna have to skip through the intro. Let's see. Red light goes through here. Or what I think of that. The reason why I say that is just because I think it's this one. Okay. Maybe it's not too bad. So notice how the background is still keeping that tealish hint to it, even though the red light's coming on, blocking or bleeding through it. If we were to turn this off, you can see it definitely still makes a difference to that scene. So I think that does look pretty good. I think it's natural to some extent. Obviously, if you think otherwise, definitely let me know in the chat or let me know in Discord. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts, opinions. I think that'll work. I do want to kind of see what it looks like if we don't even use this cylinder. Yeah, and like I thought, it's barely even noticeable now that we've amped up that lighting. I did just notice too the lighting manages to go even underneath, so we're definitely gonna want to fix it. For now, we don't need that. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. Delete the references to that cylinder. I'm gonna stick with light itself. Go ahead and adjust this lighting. we're gonna want to keep it from going underneath as much as possible. That could work. It is a little bit more intense than what I would like it to be, but I don't think we can go much lower than that without it being taken over by that steel light. Now, if we decide we don't want to do it this way, like I mentioned in the other video yesterday, we could just create a primitive here with kind of a emissive lit material and just turn that off and on and just barely give it any actual lighting to it. That could end up working better than doing it this way. But I think this will work. I'm not sure what I think about this. It isn't unlit material, just see. We do have a light over here. I'm gonna adjust that. And I think that might be it. Adjust this other red light here. One wants difficult. This is going to be an easy one to gonna be an easy one to do that emissive cube concept here. I'm gonna go ahead and create a cube. I'm gonna shrink it down. Get it pretty much exactly on top of that cube. Definitely need to slow down our movement here. Time you do like these really fine details, you need to slow down here. Do that, you just right click the mouse, scroll down with the mouse. I think that'll work. Doesn't need to be too perfect. We're gonna go over here to materials. We're gonna create a new material. We'll call this bright red. Now, I go ahead and just uncheck the cube for now. Go back to this bright red. I'm going to use that as the color in here. We're going to switch to the unlit material. Then I'll toggle this cube back on. See. Don't. See what a brighter red will look. We go back to our game view, it does show up in there. I would love to get it just a little bit of a post. Not wanting to work. Try a different technique. I create this new material. For now, it's just going to be a test material. I'm going to click that there is an emission. We're going to go ahead and select this red here. Add it to cube. The base color, we want it to be same color red. Now we give it kind of a emissive light here. And we can even go in here and kind of amp that up. Intensity. Go something more for now. I want to say go ahead and mark this cube static. It's not going to be going anywhere. And let's generate our lighting. Should have a little bit red glow now. Not quite what I'd like to see. Try adding, going all the way to 10 here. Try generating that again. I think we're getting red generally down here. Not necessarily. But it's not too bad. Not throwing off a lot of lighting. I don't know how much time we should really spend this concept here. I don't want it to feel like this light really just that. We also have this light on the ground. I think for now we don't. I'm going to rechange this to emissive red. In case we decide to use that. Okay, so I think that's all the lighting changes we're going to make here. Now let's focus on our canvas. So if we go back into our game view, you can see we have the Dream Machine kind of weird text that we did from Adobe Firefly. I don't want to keep that per se, but this title is still a working title. Use the concept Dream Machine just because it's very simple. Gets the concept across, but I think we're better off with some of the other names or even some of your guys' suggestions. So if you look in the chat, you want to go to our Discord, by all means. Also going to be available on our YouTube videos, the link. But if you head over to our Discord channel, there is a channel or a actually it's in a channel, and we have kind of some of the ideas and some of the concepts that you can vote on. I think we put in maybe 7 to 8 ideas. Definitely take a look at those and let us know what you think is the best one. But so for now, like I was saying, I don't want to put too much time in title, creating a nice graphic for the title if we're going to ultimately. We also had some animations. The title is moving upwards into here, and we had also the move up. Because of that other concept, I think we should include most of our stuff onto the left side of the screen, kind of show off Dream Machine itself. Either that, or we'll maybe even do right side to the bed here. Looks like it's more noticeable. So what I like to do, we go to our scene view, go up to, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and dock the here just so you can see kind of what this is. I'm going to remove the, we can hold off on that. No, never mind. Let's go ahead and remove this animator here for this title. And then in our intro playmaker script, I think we did have it. Might have had it later here, but we're not doing that anymore. For now, I'm going to go ahead and turn this. Red tells me, hey, you don't have anything here, you deleted it, something's wrong, please fix it. But because we're probably gonna do another animation, just not the one that we had, that's why I'm gonna get rid of it. So back at our title here, I'm gonna want it more towards up here. And then I'm not gonna go with the grid layout group no more. We're gonna go with vertical. See, I really love using these things. It makes it so much easier, and the spacing can be more precise that way. I change this to middle center. Now for padding, I don't know if we'll have it. Maybe. Might remove padding top here. Add some to the bottom. Like that. Then we may even move it over. Like that. Now we had this, put this menu button background like this. Not sure I like that. I think we're gonna replace that. Something more along the line of just dark. This. Now why we had padding. Let me fix that. I wish the gradient was a little bit wider there. Definitely not going to be a raycast target. Definitely don't want that. So, you may be able to find something better. I'll go ahead and go back and project. I type it in. There is one that I use. I want to say it's this big sci-fi. Go ahead and down. When it comes to the UI stuff, I'm saying it over and over and over again. Definitely, use what the asset store has available. It's gonna save you a lot of time, a lot of headache, and also, the more options that you have, in a project, I think the best. Maybe I'm indecisive, maybe I'm a perfectionist, but I will change these buttons and change the backgrounds and change the titles probably good 10 times before finally. If it doesn't just 100% feel right, then it'll keep. So I like to have a lot of these panels, these UI panels. I like to have a lot of gradients. Sometimes I'll go in and create my own if I can't really find exactly what. But most of the time I can use some of these already pre-made Unity assets. That should have been done. Here's the new folder. I'm going to go ahead and drag it into my app or folder. Let's see what this has to offer. We do have some borders. We do have some of this kind of outlines. These are kind of cool, especially if you have a to them. Yeah, like some of these even have they're really nice. This is a really nice loading screen texture. This is cool, kind of just some example placeholders images used. But I'm not what on the There is one more a UI pre-made UI asset that I do use a lot. See if that's where I'm thinking of. Bear with me here. I found a couple that I might use. So I might just drag some. You can see some of these are basically just black and PNG. If we go ahead and convert these to UI, you'll see now that kind of a cool black background border, kind of, so to speak. And so if we switched go back to our menu panel, we switch this to something more like, now this is definitely more prominent than what I was hoping, but we could potentially turn down the alpha here. Go with different other options. What I'd probably end up doing is this. So what I'll do is I'll leave this actual menu panel itself like that, like transparent, but I'm going to create another image here, UI image. I'm going to make it this one. I stretch it to the whole right side of this, and I'm going to down essentially portion of this. Just notice our title panel was not centered and stretched onto our actual camera. We want the title image the upper right hand corner mostly. I'll give it a little bit of space, much, and then now this here and drag over. Probably something to that extent. Our title image might need to come down a bit. Like this. Then we're going to go ahead and kind of adjust this alpha here. Might even let some of that nice, cool, dressed look up on the top here. Curious what that'll look like. Bottom. Well, a little bit. How with this menu? I'm gonna center it on right here. Lightly. And we're already, I think, much better. Go into full screen. see it doesn't look too bad. We could still see roughly what's going on behind here. We now have this darker color, which helps distinct from our title and buttons. They're easy to read, they're easy to notice. I think maybe our buttons should be bigger. I'm gonna go ahead and select them. Something like that. And now select the text and increase the size of it. Try go up to. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, we had an animation earlier. I think we can go back to having an animation again. But I think instead what we can do, so we can now, instead of coming from kind of having the vertical, we had it originally vertically move up position. Now we probably can just come in from the we want to move this image in. Messed it up. I'll show you exactly what happened here. So the menu panel itself has this vertical layout group. That's not. But the better way of doing it would be to create an object here. I just call this B layout group, or H layout group, or D layout group. Essentially the vertical, horizontal layout groups. I'm gonna add vertical layout group to this. I also want this stretched here. And we're gonna add all of these buttons to the vertical here. Now, the menu itself, it's separate. I'm gonna remove this. Separate from this vertical link. Now, if we wanted to add a background image to the menu panel, and then stretch that out, no longer being affected by this. That's the preferred way of doing it. We do want to adjust up here. We did say center. And I actually want this a little bit different. Change centered. What does this look? I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Like that. Okay, so now we can add an animator to this menu panel. The whole entire thing. Sorry, this title panel. The menu. We're gonna go ahead and add this title. So you can see we can move the whole entire thing. If we go ahead and dock that over there, see what it's gonna generally. We're gonna go back to animation. We're gonna create a new one. We'll call it menu scroll. I'll just put from the right. Maybe we should say scrolling left. So I'm gonna remember this. Copy it. Another way to do this, right click parameter here and just click. Now when we move this off screen, press record, and then maybe go, I always usually start around 2. Paste it. I copied the width instead of the position X. Somewhere around there. Now we can see it's that. Then seconds in. Fine. Again, we don't want this and oops. We're gonna start piecing together. Let's try playing that. Just to see where we're at. So the main camera here might need to be toggled off when we first start that intro. The issue is the video player not playing on top of. On top of the camera. We gotta troubleshoot that. May need an additional camera. Call this intro camera. Uncheck this. camera on basically where it's at. I will change the type to solid color and we'll use black. Now if we play this, I have a feeling work. Okay, more troubleshooting. Take a look. Under texture here. Video. That's our issue here. Add that on. Oh, we're gonna camera. Now this doesn't work. There we go. You see that one. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go into our manager here. So right away we have some initialization. I'm gonna add to this. We want the main camera off. We're gonna want the intro camera on. This is our initialization action Playmaker. Those of you who don't know Playmaker, by all means look it up. I love Playmaker. It's cool for Unity. Tons of videos, tons of tutorials. Amazing product. $1 asset store. It's 100%. So the first thing we're going to do is play that sound on top of our intro video. We had it set up where we can skip it using the button. We're going to camera fade in. But now we're going to want to switch camera. So I'm going to add or activate. Here we're going to activate the main camera. Deactivate. Then menu here. Title panel. Was this? I'm gonna have to turn off this animator now. Go through script here. As I dragged in the reference, I'm gonna this. In our channel. Everything's good, but we didn't have any sound. For that, it does we had the audio source on our main camera. Not have. I'm gonna go ahead and add that. And then if we go back into Manager, Playmaker script, we were playing the sound, we were playing it off the main cameras. Out. Fade out that. I'm gonna move these up just more sense to me. And we're gonna want to activate that camera, deactivate the other camera, and fade in. But when we did that test, it seemed like this. It seemed like it happened so fast. And also, just so you know, in Playmaker, it does work in order, so it's this action first, and for those of you who don't know, each one of these is a script, a predefined script that has. You can actually go in through here in scripts. You can make any modifications. I've never had to do it. These are pretty nice, already pre-made, already very well written. Performance scripting. You're just selecting, when you use Playmaker, you're selecting from a predefined scripting. There's really hear me say that. Do another playthrough. We should hear our sound now. Boom. Good fade out. He fades in. Game machine. We could do kind of a click start. You know, some games do that, like click here to continue. I'm not necessarily a fan of that. I feel like it's just one extra thing to do. Sometimes you just want to hurry up and get them. I feel like people are just getting more and more impatient with gaming these days. And so the quicker they can get in, the quicker they can play, the quicker their loads are, better. One of my favorite games of all time is Skyrim. Absolutely love that game. I think it's the best game I've created. But very frustrating playing the game, having to load small house, load in, okay, walk in and you do things you try. I understand why they did it that way. There probably wasn't a place for them. But it really got frustrating. It made me not want to go into these places, venture in, go searching that much. Because I knew there was going to be associated. I think you don't need that click to start. I think just getting right to the menu is the best way of doing it. You have the escape here so you can get it faster. There is a slight pause right here. And we could probably lower that a little bit. Make it a little bit faster. But for now, I think this buttons still work. Let's go ahead and create. See, the quit button works there. think we should go ahead and create a settings. It's gonna get a little complicated, but I think it'll be fun to do. I think we're gonna need some reference. So if we go back to our asset store, maybe go to this sci-fi GUI that we had already. I want to say they had a decent concept for. Scroll through here quickly. This isn't. This would work. Do something like this. But essentially what it is this panel that's going to pop up on top of our menu. But I'll make adjustment. We go in between. Very easy. Not a huge fan of this. I think this other UI might have a better one. I'm gonna go ahead and open this. Much. It's under settings. Quick glance. Here's what they got. We would have to materials. But overall, nothing's really jumping out at me right now. Go ahead. I think we'll go with the original concept here. Find it again. So I'm gonna open this on my other screen here. Not that one. And so that way I can use it as a reference. We are going to want to have quite a few setting options. We probably wouldn't be able to get through all of them today. Maybe if we can just create the rough-ins, the placeholders. Maybe tomorrow we could. So we are going to want a new panel. Create a UI panel here. We're gonna call this settings panel. Instead of searching through all this, might just look. Might be easier. But there's even they have a scene already here. We can open the scene additive here. We go down to settings here. We have it created for us. Called a pop-up frame here. You can have the flow. Fine. All this. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this setting here. Our canvas quite a bit larger than what's going on. Try to they have this scripting here. It's a little frustrating when you deal with these UI kits if they have all this built-in scripting. It's nice if you're going to go exactly with what they wanted to do, but you're going to do it the way I'm doing it. Now, I don't know all I have to go through, dissect. Now you can see, got this a little better here. The actual alpha. Look at our game view. Go to look generally like this, but not really. Have to go through here. One, I think, also, let's go ahead and remember in our initialization action, the those two cameras are going to get swapped in our ignition state. So we don't have to really worry about that doing what we're doing right now. So this settings button will activate this panel pop up. I don't need a lot of these to be raycast targets. We do want the close button. Don't have any on pencil. We are going to want to add a lot of settings. This isn't going to be enough by any means. Definitely don't think we need button out. Go ahead. As far as the social medias, or sorry, not, yeah, the social media stuff, I don't even think we really need that in the game. Graphic toggles, we are going to want that for about and support. I'd keep that. Language, you know, when it comes to video games, I do think, especially RPGs, the language is going to help you reach a broader audience. It's going to be, and it's going to probably be a long time before we do the other languages. But maybe that's something really. I'm curious if I have any other flags. That is something we could potentially do. We definitely don't need vibration setting. This is a full game. Need these. So go ahead and set this. For the couple different ways to do this. You do this mostly through scripting. Might be the preferred way to do this, but think about this. So for example, on our settings button here, we can just have the settings panel top. Problem. Issue is this here will be in the right hand side of the screen, and so the settings panel is going to be over top of it. You might be able to just preview that. So jumping right back into where we left off, we're working on this settings. Now I was talking about how we can use the settings button itself and do a click on click event. So if we go back into our title panel here, the actual button, there's an on click here. We can just essentially make it so this panel toggles on and off whenever you click the button. But the problem is is it's only going to activate this panel on and off, and our title screen here is going to be behind it. We would not only need it to toggle the settings on, we're also going to need to toggle title panel. That makes it. I think I'm even confusing myself here. So first thing we would need to do, create 2 on-click events. First one is going to turn on this settings panel. Second one is off title panel. And then vice versa, when we exit out of the settings, that nice little exit button up there. If I can find it, button close. Yep. Do the exact opposite. We're going to have to disable the settings panel. Reactivate title panel. Doesn't matter which order you do this in. Did it the wrong way right off the bat, because in this particular instance it's going to deactivate itself, the whole settings panel, before it activates the title panel. So you would want to do this. So another thing, we're going to want that settings panel turned off. So our initialization scripts, we're going to go ahead and add that this settings panel. Back into itself. Play. Get through this. Get menu. If I click settings, yeah, panel went away behind and pop up with these sliders are already working. They're roughed in. Toggle does not. Also, I'll have to fix this because I don't want to have high, medium, and I tend to have quite a few settings. I feel like we may need additionals. Also, I'm not sure if I like this. Oh, it might be a little bit looks too obvious. I think I'm gonna. But we do want to test to make it works. Good. Might get sick of the rolling. Now, so let's play around with the settings. We're here. Take a look at it. Whoa. Whoa is a little intense. Might turn that down. See? And down again. Looks a bit better. We can go down to 5. I'm also going to capitalize this settings. I prefer to have my titles for each individual panel. Usually prefer to have see how inside the settings, then I could have some lore. Press close button, going to work just fine. We are going to change out BGM. We'll keep sound effects. We are going to go ahead and move this up. Because I also believe you can see sometimes you like the music slider. We're gonna on here. We're also gonna probably want to out groups in, because yeah, you can eyeball the spacing in between here, but you want it very precise. Then you're now I'm gonna change. What we're going to want to do, a lot of these scripts I've already made, but we're going to want to make it where these sliders are actually going to pull from your settings, your prefab settings, or your player pref settings, and adjust accordingly. So that way it's going to remember exactly where you're get out of the game. And so we are going to do that at some point. Now I don't think it's important. For vibration, this to, I don't know, maybe shadows. Toggle on and off if you're going to have problems with graphics. Also, notice how we have this wheel and make it move left and right. We're probably going to want this. This is the graphic for on, and this other one is the graphic. Wherever the up. Hit this switch off. What we could even do is put it exactly. I'll toggle this on or off. See, makes it look like actually. Now these aren't actually buttons. That's why when I on them inside the scene, it wasn't. Fix. You can try to just button right here. Sometimes this works. Our pitch itself is not a raycast target. Actually, want to do a couple events. In this case, turn on, off. Do opposite. Turn on the other button and turn off your. Oh. Good. Like it. We're gonna want to do that exact same concept. Push alarm toggle. But we're not gonna call it push. Want to turn something else off. And not sure what we're gonna do there. Kind of just looking up some references to see if I have any ideas that pop out. But one of the ones is definitely subtitle. So I'm gonna change this to subtitles, text. Just realized BGM is that background music. I'm gonna change. Probably gonna end up being volume. And do that. Vibration, shadows. Toggle. Duplicate this like I did before. Then on button. Events. TV. Or, like I said, you can do this through scripting as well. People prefer it that way. Some people love using that's avoid scripting as possible. We copied this button. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna just this to master volume. I might choose out the on here. I'm gonna leave this icon. Specify what the act. Like they. Progress. If master volume, change the icon here. Volume. Not sure if on that we can titles. We have to come up with our own. I'll leave it like that for now. I'll also leave shadows, even though it looks pretty obvious that it's a vibration icon here. Our actual buttons. Just debating whether or not I'm to whether or not I was going to use those social media buttons or not. At this point, I don't know. But I am thinking about changing this to an apply button. Sometimes with settings, you can mess around and then just click close and go back to your settings. Having an apply button might be ideal. Also looking good there. Obviously, the about and import buttons, actually most of these buttons are not set up, not active. I think that's going to be okay for now. The about, we could link this to the website. Maybe even import, go to my website, and maybe something to do with emailing me if there's. With the graphics though, toggles, we are going to want some type of logic here, because we don't want it to everything be. Take a look at this. There's a toggle. Each one has a value change boolean. Pretty nice. So I'm gonna rename the toggle. We're gonna go ahead and create three on-click events. I can do multiple. For low, going to I want to set the value of this boolean for the actual toggle. Cool thing too, you could right click on this, copy, go ahead and paste that here. Really quick way of doing it. So whenever you click on the low toggle, want low engaged, you want these off. Medium, want medium turned on, everything else turned off. Let's go ahead and put it up. Settings, select me, not do what we currently. Toggle is 8. Okay, what we're doing is we're not setting is on. We are toggling this on. Did not do that. That wasn't noted. We're gonna want to go to toggle. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. So for toggle low, I think that still applies. Medium. High. Settings. Doing the exact. Oh. Open that back up. That was a weird crash. We didn't even get any kind of error, any kind of warning. I wonder if it was more Unity related or computer related. You know, with Playmaker, sometimes you can set up an infinite loop that'll crash or pause Playmaker, but I don't think it did anything. Take a look at this. So we have our if I go ahead and remove all of the on value changed. I think I know what I did. So the toggle itself handles the scripting here of turning it on and off. So I think we only need 2 other events for the element. So I don't think we had one in there for the low, as we don't need to because it's already being. So I think that was what the issue was. That may have been why it crashed. So, gotta try here. Copy that. Medium, we're gonna high. High. Right. Give that a try. Hopefully we don't crash. Oh. Reason you can pick. Want it to only work. These kind of things show up in playtesting. I do a lot of my own playtesting, or even do it tester something. Not sure exactly what to do. You can go into these extra settings, operate cast target. Would have been was rarely. A lot of times, if you look at order toggle, notice how it's toggle low, white box. Not really seeing exactly. Try it again. Also, we're going to want one of these pre-selected too. But we're going to pull from the player pref. Also, I don't think you should be able to click off of it. That might be an issue with doing this as a toggle. Maybe we don't want. I think that raycast target text. So we're not going to want these toggles. I go ahead and move. I'm gonna remove these toggles. I'm gonna add button. Kind of reverse a lot of it. I'm gonna have it go. Don't need that value or switch to more. Why? Just gonna essentially just change cycle between here. Probably gonna create some scripting here. It's a little bit more of a complex concept here. On high. So we're basically going to want to create a script where it's going to change the graphics for the game based off the value of these buttons. You select the button, it's going to trigger a change, also trigger an image. I think we'll hold off on that script for now. Try to do most of the scripting maybe in tomorrow's stream. But I think we are set up for that to work now. So tomorrow we would adjust all of the volumes. We're gonna also have to set up a master mixer, volume mixer. That's gonna handle all of these concepts. That is a little complex to do, but it's fairly easy for us to walk through. Subtitles, we're gonna have to hold off on subtitles for now because we don't have any text yet for the game. But that is something we would add eventually. Shadows, that we can do that tomorrow as well. That'll be languages we'll hold off on, and then maybe we can be about and support to our website. Then we're gonna want to use the supply button. We're going to save the settings to the player prep. This is going to get from the player prep starter stuff. I think this looks pretty good. It does open from the settings and does exactly what we do. Now we are going to want something for load game. Want some type of panel like this because maybe the player has more than one save game. I am curious if we go back in here if is now load game. Except here's the language. You can actually do this real fast, probably. Now, if you click on this English button, let's do that real quick. Then this panel is going to show up, and you're going to be able to select you. You can make it so they can select their language, but not necessarily any actual changes. So let's reopen that scene they had. Narrative. Go down to this. I want to say it here. Copy that. Language. This. Pop up. I'm gonna go ahead. There. Oh. Like testing, don't like. I feel with UI scale should always be. Oh, I forgot about this. Crypto. That happens. We actually don't need it. My issues with this panel. Create a new UI panel. Font language. Up correctly. I'm gonna call it a pop-up. Not gonna be the full size of the. Be the exact same size as ours. Probably gonna go on top of the settings. So Okay. I'm getting sidetracked here. So I'm probably gonna create this from scratch. Not scaling the way that I want. Do with this grid layout group. Oh, here. Never actually used this content size fitter, but I feel like the way that they layout group part of the issue. Instead of wasting too much time trying to fix their concept, I'm gonna just go ahead and let I do it. We're gonna recreate a lot of this concept here. Low. Okay, I think what did we do? 5. Kind of like this frame line. Button. Works. Go down. See that our settings panel is not that big. Not gonna. But unfortunately, I've run out of time, so we're gonna fix a lot of this stuff later, guys. Later.